as one. Buy, sell, eBay.
Ian Collins, weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Radio.
It is Talk Radio 0344 499 1000. Back on faulty towers, censorship and all that goes with it in a few moments. Now the UK's economy has suffered a record collapse during April's coronavirus lockdown, with GDP shrinking by 20.4%. This is according to the ONS, the Office for National Statistics. The fall is the biggest the UK has ever seen, 3 times greater than during the financial crash. It indicates the extent of damage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. We saw it coming, but did we know it was going to be this bad? Jonathan Davis, economist and presenter of the Booms and Busts podcast, is with us. Did you know it was going to be this bad, Jonathan? Afternoon.
Good afternoon. I had a very strong inkling. I've been saying for the last 2 months, and clearly I don't have the resources of the Office for National Statistics. I'm not in the government. I'm not in the cabinet. And if I knew about it, then I can tell you they knew about it. I've been saying for the last 2 months that unemployment, when lockdown ends and all the furloughs and the self-employed schemes and all the rest of it, do you know 11.5 million people now in the private sector are being paid directly by the government? If that's not communism, I don't know what is. When all these things end and lockdown ends, I'm afraid to say unemployment is going to rise 1.5 to 3 million people. I've been saying that for 2 months.
Wow, this is not good stuff. I mean, the predictions appeared to be that the economy would shrink by 15%. Do you know how this broadly compares with other equivalent economies, Jonathan? Is there any data on that at the moment?
Not yet. In terms of producing data, we're very good at producing data. Not that that much helps. We're good at looking backwards, but no, other countries, we still don't know beyond April. But yes, it's much of a muchness whether or not there was lockdown in the developed country, whether or not there was lockdown.
So a France or a Spain or an Italy, one might assume, could take similar kind of hits over the same period.
Well, I think it's likely that they will. In fact, actually, because of particular problems in China, I think Germany, you might be surprised to hear, is going to have the biggest problems relatively, because they are highly dependent upon the Chinese economy and exports. But yes, other countries will also do badly. It's the biggest recession since the 1930s. As to, whether or not it should have happened, well, it shouldn't have, but it has happened, and people need to get to grips with the reality. I still see people going out and paying pre-COVID-19 lockdown prices for houses. They are absolutely out of their mind.
So you're saying you'd hang on a bit and wait for a drop?
Look, I don't know where these people are getting their news from, but when you get the likes of the Nationwide Building Society saying that they expect house prices to fall, I think the exact figure was 13.8%. How they came to a decimal point, I don't know. Over the next year, well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to agree with them. In the biggest recession since the 1930s.
Yeah, I did. I have to concur, because I read that this week, that they'd had this sort of record week of people buying homes. And I thought, well, unless you've really got an urgent, pragmatic issue to move home, that seems like a curious time, just before things are about to go southwards. I guess the question that we'd all love answered, and I know as an economist you clearly have the definitive answer for us, Jonathan, how long is it going to last? Because initially Rishi Sunak was talking about, yep, it's going to be deep, but it will be short.
Well, I've been saying that post-lockdown, when these idiot politicians reopen the economy, of course there will be a surge back up in the economy, but we've seen it fall 20 or 25%. I mean, this is absolutely breathtaking statistics. That's the size of the drop in the size of the economy. There will be a surge. It will be immediate. Apart from anything, we'll be heading into holidays when people will spend money. There'll be more staycations than going abroad, I'm sure. And then, of course, we're heading towards Christmas. And then there's all the pent-up demand of doing up houses, of birthdays, of weddings, you name it. There'll be big... But the idea that 2020 will be the same level of the economy or higher than 2019 is cuckoo land talk. It's probably going to be around 10% smaller, the size of the economy, than last year. And after this initial surge, the economic growth will be very slow indeed, because there'll be far more people unemployed. Businesses will have gone out of business. Aggregate incomes of households will have fallen. And then on top of that, I can tell you, we're going to see higher and higher inflation. And of course, that will mean the cost of business and the cost of living will rise. Therefore, everything's more expensive. Therefore, the economy will grow more slowly. So it's going to be years before we even get back to 2019 levels.
Wow, we are going to watch with interest. Jonathan, thank you. It's brutal, but it's honest. Jonathan Davis, economist and presenter of Booms and Busts podcast, with us here on Talk Radio. There it is. I mean, that is quite a brutal analysis. This idea that we were going to have a V-shaped recession. So it'll go down and it'll be deep, but it'll go back up again like a V. And now they're talking about it being a kind of an L shape. And that, of course, really would be a rather grim time. It was such an honest assessment in its brutality, wasn't it? It was like I was hoping and waiting. Come on, just bring out, there must be some low-hanging fruit that you can offer here with just a scintilla of hope. Nothing. It's all going southwards.